That's amazing that plants can communicate with one another. Does that speak to the fact that plants have consciousness?
Yeah, and I believe so. And when you really think about it, as far as consciousness concerned, we could say wherever there is intelligence, that is consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Consciousness is intelligence.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, and what they then there's another book I got that takes consciousness a step further to explain from an empirical point of view how consciousness is developed, because typically scientists look at creation and its processes and just see it as typical building blocks. They don't understand. They had a problem. They're having problems trying to explain how these building blocks come together to form the complex systems that we have
And you
today.
know
Like
what,
going
brother?
from, yeah,
That's the argument that I put across to my brothers at Team Osiris whenever we have a discussion on this, because you know me, I'm a mystic, right? Like brother Kung Su, but they take
right,
the approach that consciousness is an emergent factor of matter. And my question is always, how do you take, I don't care how many atoms you take or subatomic particles you take and put them together, how do you take non-living atoms, put them together and get consciousness?
exactly. How do you get them to operate? You know what I'm saying?
So
How you get them? Yeah,
yes, sir.
exactly. In the book, I don't even remember the title of the book, but basically it talks about um how these simple building blocks organize itself into a complex system. And basically what it was getting at was they're not just random substances coming together. They are substances, but um, they are intelligent, but they are also able to process information.
Right.
You see
Now
what I'm
that's just
saying?
my question to that. My question, my response to that would be, well, how do you guys know that they are intelligent? Have you ever communicated with them? And then define communication. Like,
Exactly.
did they speak back to you? What language was they speaking? Have you even ever seen an atom or a subatomic particle? See, those would be my questions from a statement like that, because you can't just spew rhetoric that way and then don't back it up with empirical evidence. Otherwise, it's just people can say anything. And that's the one
Yeah.
thing I love about science and its methods, is that they
Hmm.
have to back up what they say. And not only do they have to back it up, but it has to be repeatable by other scientists.
Wouldn't the evidence of the communication be
So,
the reaction of the combination? Wouldn't that be the actual evidence? So, for instance, if you go to like uh, the elements, when you combine certain things, there's a reaction, and
Hmm.
that's the evidence of the actual communication between them. So it's not,
Hmm.
you can't, they don't speak the same, they're not the same, so they don't speak the same language, just like a Chinese person and an English. They don't.
Exactly.
But the fact that they combine automatically, that's a form of communication, because there is some connection there.
Exactly.
Communication doesn't necessarily mean, it could be any level. You know what I mean? So, for instance, if I go and hug the tree and I are communicating. In fact, whether I hug the tree or not, we're communicating because we share a space. We share a common space. So the fact of the interaction would seem like it
absolutely.
would be proof.
Now, my question to that would be: this communication that's taking place between oneself and whatever object it may be, is this communication happening because of the consciousness of the human entity, right? Because
Mm. Hmm.
I think with plants, you're on to something, because definitely there's a communication. Because take for instance how we take in oxygen from the plants, and then they take in
Mhm.
carbon dioxide from us.
Mhm.
So there's
Mhm.
definitely a transfer of information, if
Mhm.
you will.
Right.
So I can totally agree with that. Now, as far as it comes to atoms, my question again would be, has anyone ever seen an atom, right? Because we know that there are effects. That's like if you take a material, right, and then you apply fire to it, the fire definitely burns or causes the molecules of those atoms to speed up, and we call that burning or whatever. So I would say that there is an effect of one force acting upon an object, but I wouldn't necessarily have agree right away that
That it's
that
an atom.
necessarily means there's a mutual communication, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so that would be even an interesting topic to come up talk about it in the future.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. And communication, communication. Any communication is always the basis is always an exchange. It's
Exactly.
always an exchange.
Mhm.
That's the key to communication with anything. But as far as your question on has anyone seen these things, I guess it's just a matter of
They have
having
it.
a whatever technology you need to utilize to give you that ability. We what we
Have the
can do
tools.
is
Mhm.
uh, just refer back to ancient views regarding the matter because they have a plethora of pictograph symbols, glyphs, explaining the micro world,
Right,
especially
right,
through the
right.
myth, especially through their mythology.
Absolutely.
Um,
My,
you
my
know,
my thing about that is I think we have to be very careful when attempting to interpret
oh,
um
exactly,
the language and symbolism of the ancient, because who
exactly.
is here today to actually translate, if you will, the actual meanings, because we do have to take into account that much of the ancient wisdom was passed down through initiation. And so
Hmm.
here we are on the outside looking in, and we are detached from the initiatory meaning of these things, as well as the cultural perspectives. So all of these kind of
Anybody can
things really
tell
have
you
to
anything.
exactly.
Hmm.
It's like the Bible. You can ask 10 people the meaning of a scripture, and you're going to get 10 different answers, perhaps, because it's up for personal interpretation, because it's a story, right? And in stories, they are designed to convey to an individual a personal information, meaning that we can all take from it necessarily whatever it is we are perceiving in that moment or we need in that moment. So, like I say, I'm a
Hmm.
very skeptical individual. you know, I question
That's a
everything. I
good
question
thing.
myself.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indeed.
Sister, I think your other sisters left you hanging. I think they're kind of scared of the heat
That's
right
good.
here.
I can handle things. I ain't tripping.
Oh, oh.
What are polyandry, whatever you call it. Yeah, I got y'all. Come on, let's nah, I'm tripping.
I'm speaking
Oh
with this
man,
one sister now to see if she's going to come in. If she's not going to come in, we're going to go ahead and get the show started. And we
Yes,
may
let's
have to
do
do a
it.
part two
man.
because
No,
it's
I
not
had
fair.
already, I had already started the damn show because we was going in, and I couldn't just let that shit
Oh,
slide.
so we're live.
Yeah, we are actually live. I had to do it. I had to do it.
It's
We
all
Oh,
we
so
was
good.
you
we,
snuck
we
it
was
in
going.
on us. I'm glad I didn't
Shit, I
say
wish
some
I snuck it
things.
in sooner. For real.
Okay, so what is the name of this show?
Well, it was called, black relationships, but hell, we started, starting in the atmosphere, the stratosphere with the shit.
He's trying to start from the foundation.
Yeah,
Before we
True,
get
right,
to
right, right.
that,
true.
But you know
So
what?
we
This
so
is
we
Real Talk Thursday.
Well, we started off on a good point, communication,
yes, yes,
Mm,
communication, which is the
yes.
key.
And would you say that's a reciprocated exchange? And
Exactly.
so, so then I guess you start with that. between
Yeah, we
males and
started. We started
females.
from nature to man. Yeah, nature to man, male and female.
So
I mean,
can I start off?
absolutely, ladies first.
Okay. So I was having a conversation with my stepdaughter, and I was saying that we have sex when we're happy, and men have sex to get happy.
Mm,
And so there's a miscommunication between the two because we don't understand. We don't have the same. We're not looking at it from the same viewpoint. So we were talking about the conversation was about uh, I won't say polygamy, but males who people who like to deal with multiple partners, and the question came on the floor. To me, like, well, what do you feel on that? And my position was, one, if a man cannot define, defend, and communicate his needs, then he definitely does not need that. Um, if a person doesn't, I would say, if they aren't able to defend what their position is and how they feel and not compromise on that, then they definitely don't. And then I would say um, that because I understand who I am, I that's not something that I take off the floor. There are a lot of things that are off the floor with me in relationship to dealing with men, but dealing with another person is not off the floor. It's up for communication. It's up for communications. But I think that the reason that I feel that way is because of what I said earlier. That I don't think that men understand that women, when we're comfortable, when we're in a good space, and when we feel protected, um, we're happy, and we're very sexual beings. And I think that it's not taken into consideration the stress and the strain that is put on the female in society today, from just everything around us. And men, on the other hand, the same stress and strain is there with men. And men use that. They use sex though to make it. That's their retreat. That's their go home. Um, I think that becomes the breakdown in a lot of relationships. That if men understood that with females, then the job would be more to, okay, well, let me see, how can I make this as comfortable for her as possible, and then the second will be taken care of, because if he likes to have sex as a retreat, then there's no problem if she's comfortable and is allowed to be that. So, um, so from that standpoint, I think that that's one of the biggest breakdowns in communications as far as sexuality goes. I won't go completely into polyandry yet. I mean, polygamy yet, because I want you all to respond to that. But
Yeah, I liked a lot of the points you was making, especially concerning um, the comfort level of sisters. You know how when you're in that space of comfort, when you feel most open, you feel secure. How you are able to fully express yourself to where you are able to, you are naturally giving
right,
and nurturing. Um, I know with my previous relationship of 3 years, and me and the sister, we had left on good terms. I made it a point to, even when we had conflict, I was very cordial. I was very respectful. I made sure I never once called her out of her name. We kept it between us. No outsiders were involved. No family members were involved in our personal issues. We just kept it behind closed doors, and we dealt with it then and there. and we kept it moving. And when it came time for us to, to split, we did the thing. But during the relationship, just me focusing on my role as a male, making sure I do what I need to do, and it was a partnership. You know, we we made agreements. It was a true system. Like, whatever we disagreed on, we handled that. Whatever our needs were, we put it to the front. And the key was the communication. It was the communication. But what I noticed, as long as the dynamic was an even exchange, a balanced exchange, that everything ran was smoothly. The only time things would not run smooth is when there was a lack of communication. Sometimes we feel like, okay, when our needs aren't being met, some of us don't have the patience to work through it. Sometimes what I find people do is, and it don't even have to be relationship, it could just be social interactions.
Mm.
You could see it in the body language of people, where they feel uncomfortable, but they force themselves to deal with certain people regardless. And they'll just keep how they're feeling to themselves, but they'll still act on those inclinations. And then it's like a snowball effect. It's like gradual progression until things finally come out into the open. And then the people they're surrounded by, it's like, damn, what happened to Tony? What's going on with him? Why he bugging? Why the sister, why she spazzing out like that? You know what I'm saying? We don't have a clear, we don't lay our boundaries. We're not clear with our needs. um and another thing, we're so quick to play the blame game with one another. Another thing I like to say, from personal experience, there was a lot of things that I went through in a relationship that I didn't have to go through. um and that was a matter of, because I felt like, because of the way the relationship was, I felt that I had to keep holding on despite the signs that my spirit was giving me, like, yo, no, regardless on how much y'all care for each other and love each other, both of y'all are innately incompatible, and you got to do something about that, whatever you got to do. But despite the signs and the signals, I kept holding on regardless. Kept trying to, like, well, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that. And in the long run, I was ultimately unhappy, and it went from, okay, I have the power to go ahead and change this, to, well, whether you have the power or not, this shit is about to break apart, period.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? That's when, at that breaking point, I said, okay, let me go ahead and just what I need to do. And like me and the
So
sister, yeah, go ahead.
now I was gonna ask, you and Derek Jones. So how do you feel about the sister saying that men have sex to feel good? I mean, because obviously we can't speak from a woman's perspective. We have to accept
Right.
that a woman, has sex when she feels good. But when she made the statement that men have sex to feel good, how did you guys feel about that? Do you agree with that? Because I don't necessarily agree with that all the way. I think for the most part,
Because you're a skeptic. Of course, you're not supposed
I think for the most part, that probably she's probably right. Most men probably do have sex just to feel good, but I wouldn't say that that's an overall general statement about men.
to.
At least I can speak for myself. It does feel good to have sex, but I don't have sex to feel good.
What do
So
you
what do you
have
guys
sex
think about
for?
that?
But what do you
What's
have
Um,
that?
sex for?
I have sex to connect. To me, sex is a, if you will, a deeper form of communication and connection.
Mhm.
You know, it's a more profound way than using our language, right? Our speaking with our mouths. It's a more profound way to
You know why it's so profound? Because it
I,
feels
well, I have
so
my ideas, but what are
it
you going to
feels
say?
so good. I mean, the reason why it's so profound because it's nothing that you could think of that can match that feeling. Like it is, and then the power behind it, what it actually does. Because when you talk about communication, the ultimate thing is what comes from the communication. What
Yes,
building
absolutely.
comes after that? What does that
Hmm.
do? And when you think about sex, that form of communication, that brings forth human life. That's like the
There you
ultimate shit
go.
on the planet.
There you
So,
go.
and the fact that it feels better than anything, that there's nothing when done in its purest form that feels better than that. So, yeah, it's the best stuff we got. You
I mean, I
know.
have to agree with that. I definitely have to agree with that last part.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right on to something with that one. I
Yeah.
still want to know what the guys think about
I agree. Me
how do
too.
you feel about we have sex to feel good, Derek Jones?
Well, you know what? Let me just say this. I don't even know how we got to the sex thing like right away. We
I
talking about
started it
relationship.
because that's where I wanted to start.
Okay, let me just give my input. I'm gonna say something and then I'll come back to the whole sex thing. But let me just say this about the sex thing. I think everybody has sex um, looking for a good feeling. You know, because let's just face it. You know, sex feels good. You know what I mean? So whether you're a female or a male, I think you trying to have sex because you're looking for that certain feeling. You know what I mean? But just to go back into the whole, I mean, this group right here today is based on relationships, right? Is that what the topic is?
Absolutely, absolutely. Black love, match made in heaven, or all out warfare.
Okay. All right. This is how I feel basically about relationships, and if you guys can like kind of like stay with me because I might be all over the place, but um, if you could imagine being in a relationship, and this is something I've been on this universe for a while, and I've never experienced a relationship with a companion ship with somebody that's a female that's conscious, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Or if I consider myself a conscious brother, I want to be in a relationship with a sister that's conscious as well. You know, I don't want to be a conscious brother and be dealing with the typical, you know, black female um, when it comes down to the ghetto attitudes and you know we all from the hood, so we know what a hood female is basically. You get what I'm
Oh
saying? And
yeah.
I don't mean that, you know, to talk down or nobody nothing like that, but I'm just saying if I'm in a relationship today, I would prefer to be in a relationship with a conscious sister, somebody that knows who she is, um, and in turn, you know, me knowing who I am, you know, just two conscious people. You know what I'm saying? Why is it hard to find somebody compatible when you in a conscious state of mind?
Can I respond?
Yeah, go
Yes.
ahead, Quinn. And I'm gonna answer your question about the sex thing after you. So go ahead.
Um, I think that the difficulty becomes in the interpretation of what conscious is. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Mm.
when like that's how the other conversation started from the beginning, was that you know my skeptic here. Everybody has a different interpretation of things. So what's conscious for me, like certain things that matter to me don't even matter to a lot of conscious people.
Mm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. So there are things that and then some things that matter to them. I'm just like, I don't know, I think that's irrelevant. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely,
so there's not a we don't have like we're not reading from the same book. You know what I mean? And I think that that's
absolutely.
so, and we don't start off our relationships coming, sitting down at the table and saying, okay, well, let's define what we're talking about here? Like, what do you
That's the
mean?
key right there. That's the key
You
right
know,
there.
so what do you mean by this? And then maybe we'll be enlightened to even be more conscious because shit, it might, whatever that is. I know I'm not totally that, and I know that's the way I'm going. So if you got
Mm.
something that's good, I take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I take it. You know what I mean? Because that's ultimately what conscious is a continual growth process. So I don't. I think if that were the definition, then I think that you know, for me, that's what it would be. It would be
Mm.
if I run into somebody who is doesn't stop growing, well, we good. The
exactly.
minute you stop growing, though, I gotta go. I just
Yes,
ain't
sir.
got time.
Yep.
I just don't. I just can't be. I can't be stagnant and complacent and comfortable. I don't like. It's funny that I talk about being comfortable, but there's part of me from that aspect that doesn't like to get too settled and too comfortable in any place because that's
Mm.
not what I'm here for. I'm moving.
Yeah,
Yep.
Moving, I'm not like still. I'm moving,
exactly.
So for that, if you would say conscious, that would be where I would start with most people. So if a man said, are you conscious? Absolutely. Am I completely 100%, you know, what if I were to take a combination of everything that people say is conscious? Nah, I ain't got all that. It's a lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. Consciousness is the moment you're born, you're conscious. Consciousness is just awareness, period. Just being aware. Now, if we're talking of your level of awareness, your
Hmm.
depth of perception, that is a completely different thing, and all of us vary in that aspect. Um, if you was to ask me, am I the teacher or the student? I would definitely say the student, and I feel like that's the missing link with the conscious, the quote unquote conscious community. Everybody is using the platform to assert their own agenda, which is another get rich quick scheme. They see consciousness as another, as a business model to, to push their product, to copy, paste whatever they find and to promote that. And then it's become a celebrity death match, if you will. But to not get off topic, yeah, but to not get off topic though, to
That visual is like, dang, bing.
yeah, but as far as relationships go, and I'm gonna get to the sex thing right after this. Um, us men and women, as for indigenous men and women, black men and women, whatever you decide to label us, we are sexual by nature, but we're also like onions. We come in layers. It's and these layers we covered ourselves in these layers. These layers would develop as we develop.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Yep.
the the more we grow, the more denser we become in matter, the denser we become in our mental processing. Where it was fluid, it's become more and more rigid. The more we conform to the structure, to the system in order to survive. So taking that into consideration and taking also into account the fact that we are innately sexual, we are innately what is sexuality? What is sexuality? Sexuality is how we bring life. It is the closest dynamic we share with the creator itself. The creative dynamic to create something, to create an entity, to bring an entity into this realm.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So that's a powerful thing. That's a powerful thing. And the powers that be understand that, and they understand that with our innate divinity, our melanin, which is a profound substance within itself, we process experience on a whole other level. It's our experiences are a lot deeper than other races experiences. So where sex is concerned, hell yeah, as a black man, definitely to feel good, all that. I want all that. You know what I'm
Now,
saying? I'm just keeping it 100. You know, that's how it is. You know, I remember growing up. You know, I'm a '90s baby, so hell, R. Kelly, and all, you know, R&B was popping. You know what I'm saying? And even science will tell you you don't have to sit there and to study day in and day out to learn. Like as children, we learn just by watching. We learn by observing. We just imitate. You know what I'm saying? So I came out the womb imitating. Shit. I'm trying to get my freak on. Period. That's all I'm saying. You know. You know. Just grind.
you know
But
what? You know what? I want to make two points. One is to Brother Derek's question, and it's in relation to how the sister posed her answer. And I would have to agree that when it comes to conscious, being with someone that's conscious, we have to define conscious. What is conscious? Because no two
mm,
people may see any one thing the same exact way. So she made an excellent point when she said that define conscious. So when he say, why can't I get with a conscious sister? What exactly does he mean by that? Does he mean to be with a woman whose intellect and emotional and spiritual intelligence is compatible with his own? Because if he means that, then that can be something that's totally interpreted not necessarily as conscious, depending on the interpretation, right? And as far as the young lady said about us having sex to feel good, I don't necessarily think we have sex to feel good. I think we have sex to reproduce, like she's mentioned, that is probably one of the most powerful things there is, because life comes about through this. Now, I do believe that sex feels good because it is a natural impetus to um, push us to have sex so that we can continue to be fruitful and multiply, if you will, and survive. So that's why I think sex feels good. Now, when she said makes men have sex to feel good, I take that as though she's speaking of men that are approaching relationships from their carnal self, their carnal being, their lower animal nature, if you will. Now, I
right.
would say that for anyone, whether it's a man or a woman that is approaching a relationship from that perspective, from their lower nature, then yes, it will definitely be about the feeling, because it's all about sensual gratification.
Exactly.
But when you take an individual or individuals that have developed somewhat at a spiritual level, and they're able to approach sex from the standpoint that it's a connection, and it's a connection that could allow for the coming forth of a life, then I think that it goes beyond just the pleasurable factor.
Of
It's like
course.
how go ahead, brother, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that you're definitely on point with that. You was speaking about the feeling. Yeah, of course, we all get the feeling. The question would be, what do we do with that feeling?
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? I find it funny. It's a very curious thing. I noticed that um, women who I have been sexually involved with, they always give me a funny look when I don't come. You see what I'm saying? They
I know
expect
exactly what you mean.
they expect me to come when I have sex with them, and I tell them no, I don't. I choose not to, and they look bewildered. You know what I'm saying? Like what? Like
They
you
say,
can
"You're
actually
so
choose?
conscious."
Yeah, like it's a choice.
You're so conscious.
Yeah, they just, they start thinking that something's wrong with them.
Absolutely.
They
That's what
feel
they
like it's
think.
something wrong with them. Like, oh, is it
Hmm.
not good
Then
enough?
that's your key. See, now let's go back to the question about conscious. Now here's the point that I'm making when I say men make have sex to feel good. Two has to do with not taking into consideration the fact that this sister don't understand why you not coming, and that
Mm-hmm.
perhaps maybe you shouldn't be having sex with her.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where the two comes from. Like that's the level of consciousness. Like okay, wait, this sister don't understand her sexuality. She let me ask her a few questions. So tell me about ovulation and your cycle and how many days is it? And that's when you start asking. And if she doesn't understand her, then this ain't the person you should be having sex with.
absolutely.
And so that's what I mean. The two doesn't take that into consideration instantly. You know, the two, and it is the raw carnal nature. I mean, that's what we're talking
Mm-hmm.
about. That's what we're dealing with, though, out here. We're not dealing with, you know what I mean? I mean, even in myself, I mean, even in the quote unquote conscious community, we're still, I mean, we're so deep into this shit. It'll be a long time before we climb up out of this. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it ain't like no, you know what I'm saying? Ain't like you ain't gonna achieve this in this lifetime. You know, this is a process, and nor should you want to. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because it's you passing the baton on. Like,
It's
oh, okay,
part of
this
the
is what I
journey.
got. Here you go. Right. It's not a place that you're going. It's something that you're doing. You know.
Well,
So.
I'll say this. I'm not going to say how long, but before the last lying chick that I was with, and I'm going to call her a chick. That's as disrespectful as I'm going to be. Before the last lying chick I was with, I hadn't had sex in a long time. And I'm not going to say how long, but I held out purposely to develop myself spiritually and you know just to make sure that my I was right within myself before I engaged with a counterpart in that way. So my thing is, what do we do? And I'm a man, so I'm on the man side, right?
Mhm.
What do we
Yeah.
do with these women that lie and pretend just like many men do so that they can get the draws basically or can get what it is that they want? Because
Yeah.
we can it's easy to pretend and say, "Oh, okay, I see what this individual is looking for. He wants someone conscious. We're gonna just use that, right? He wants someone conscious. So let me pretend to be this, right? Let me play this role until I get what I want." Because yeah, we do have to be cautious and be perceptive and trying to be aware of a person's intent. But we do have some great deceitful women out there.
Yeah. It's a problem. No, it's a real problem. Folks, they real fucked up. It's real bad. You know, on so many levels. It really is. No, I'm serious. It's really bad. They and there's a it, you, the obvious proof that it's as bad as it is I mean to me that they're the two most honorable positions on the planet are being a mother and being a wife. Like you
Absolutely.
got to be a gangster. Like you
Hmm.
can't be playing. You don't take no shorts. You don't take no shit. You understand what I'm saying? You run a tight shift. That's your job because what you're doing is you're populating the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be keen on who you populate the planet with, what he
Mm-hmm.
up to, what he into. You got to keep
Hmm.
that in order, and then you also got to be the one that keeps. You have to keep his sexuality in order. You have to make sure that he because it's my statement. Men have sex to feel good. So feeling good, that's what he's gonna do. That's what he's gonna want to do. When he's not right, when he's not eating right, when he's not healthy, he's feeling, loved and doesn't get physical attention. That's what he does. He goes to have sex. You know, he wants
Hmm.
to do that. That's the first inclination. So in order to alleviate that, you
Absolutely.
have to be the one I'm saying that, fulfills that. So that's obviously not something that's taken serious because we can look around us and see This is what
Hmm.
these are women's children
Mm.
for real. These are their children and these are their husbands. And this is as serious as they take it. In my position, like you asked about liars, like for me, I expose liars. I don't play the shit. I expose
Mm-hmm.
them real tough. I really ain't into that. Don't if you disrespect me, there will be consequences. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a verbal ass whooping that nobody wants because what it does is it touches your soul to like what like to shock your ass and to oh my god,
Mm.
and then you just move on. And then it's just like what that's what it was. That was something I needed to grow. That was something that I needed to do. That became what's about me is I feel like I don't think I'm ever gonna. I don't think I'll ever be in a long term relationship, and I don't really know if I want to be.
Mm.
I mean, 4 or 5 years is good for me. If we can move on to the next one, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I have my
Hmm.
children. You know what I'm saying? For me, that's how I feel. I'm not really this setting dates and forever, and I can't promise you shit. What I can say is, as long as we
Mm-hmm.
growing, we gonna be doing something together. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
But
That
yeah,
romantic shit. The
Exactly.
romantic shit.
That's where you get
mm-mm,
romanticism from, and that's how a
Exactly.
lot of people view relationships and so-called
mm-hmm,
love nowadays. It's
mm-hmm,
romanticism. We're out of touch with reality, and we're
mm-hmm,
approaching relationships according
mm-hmm.
to our ideas of what we think they are and how
Right.
it should be, instead of the reality. Because I look, I get nude pictures from women that don't even know me all the time in my inbox, and it puzzles me because
Sorry.
these women, you don't know me at all. So
Mm-hmm.
I tend to find that women just want sex nowadays just as much as men do,
Yeah,
and they
we
don't
we
they don't want to be
yeah.
bothered. They want to get
I
their hit,
hear that.
and they want you to
That's
go
so
home.
interesting. That's really interesting. I find that really interesting. I have never, can't ever remember going after sex from somebody who I wasn't in a relationship with and who, we were. I just never remember doing it. That's so, I find it astonishing. I do. I don't even look at men sexually like that. I don't look at you and think, oh my God, I want to fuck him. I don't think that. That doesn't even cross my mind. Because what I understand is for me, I need to talk to you. We need to have a conversation. I need to my voice to be fucked up. You understand what I'm saying? I
Absolutely,
mean, all kinds of basic shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. You can put this whole
absolutely,
fantasy
absolutely.
in your mind about this person, and then they come around the damn the counter and they short or some shit. Like under your, like you don't
Eh.
know. No, I'm serious, and it's stupid. You look at something and be like, "Oh my God!" Like I don't know anything about you. Like I don't know, like nothing.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly,
I don't know if your breast thing. I don't know shit. I don't know shit. And I'm gonna look at
man.
you from a distance and be like, "Oh, I want to fuck you." Like that's I. But I feel the same way about men.
Mm.
Like, and I want to take this into to what I was gonna say about polygamy, which is for me, if that's something that we come to that he tells me, that's something that he's interested in, I don't ever foresee that happening, just because I know what I'm doing. But I can understand why somebody could feel like they might need that. You know what I mean? Because there is such a deficiency, on the planet. You do need two or three or something to get shit complete. I get it. Males and
Absolutely,
females. Shit, it's like I gotta just piece some niggas together. Shit,
Yeah.
you know?
And that's the thing, and that's the thing too, because when we talk about getting things done, because
Mhm.
because when I hear discussions about polygamy, the first question be, well, what about polyandry? And then the second question would be, okay, if we doing this, then it's because you need more people to help build our fantasy empire. We want to we want to build this empire. You know,
A sexual fantasy. We want to
yeah,
build, but we
yeah,
just want to have good sex while we doing it. Okay.
yeah. And that's the thing. If it's a
I mean,
matter of
shit. clean, good sex, healthy, good sex.
Yeah, if it's a matter of building, if it's a matter of needing more people to build, then cause right off the bat, brothers gonna feel some type of way about the polyandry because I ain't sharing I shit. Come on. Find us keepers. Find us keepers. It's mine. You know what I'm saying? We all like to feel like the king of the castle. You know what I'm saying? So it can't be two
Mm,
kings in this bitch.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But I digress. I digress. The point I'm trying to make is
He got real serious here. Hot. Fuck that shit.
yeah, the point I'm trying to
Nope.
make is though,
He got hood.
if it's a matter of having bodies, because that's what we're talking about, more bodies to build, we talking about a hive here, workers. That shit, it don't matter who's on the squad. You just need people to help build. That doesn't
Mm-hmm.
require a relationship. So when it comes to that, when it comes to survival, um, and if we are to consider polygamy, polyandry, what have you, then we need to at least get out of our feelings and use a bit of logic.
Mm,
For some of us, a lot of logic to actually consider it from a business perspective, a business
Mm-hmm.
dynamic,
Mm.
because that's what relationship is. Even if you was to get into the field of quote unquote pseudoism and you get into the astrology, hell, the seventh sphere, the seventh house, which is governs relationships, that deals with partnerships. You need that's also the realm of business. You're dealing
exactly.
with
Exactly.
business,
Mm-hmm.
period. So
Mm-hmm.
relationships is a
Contracts.
business, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, exact contracts. And uh, where the black community is concerned, we leave a lot of that out. We're like walking
Well, see, like you
drug
heard what your
fiends.
boy said, right? You know your boy. You know what he said about it, right?
Wait, which boy?
Your boy brother polite.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
He
yeah.
say family is business.
Definitely, definitely,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, and I agree. I agree.
But what
Fam.
I was gonna say about how I feel about that. Me personally,
Yeah.
one of the questions that comes up automatically when I tell a man that he needs to negotiate. I'm not for or against anything. I'm open, but you just have to negotiate. And if you can, it makes sense to me. I'm in. You know what I mean? I don't have a certain, oh no, I'll do this. You know what I mean? But um, and there's certain criteria. For me, I have standards. So
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
but one of the things that what I recognize though with a lot of women is that if you have a man and you've decided to be with him, whether he's monogamous or not, and if you know that he's not
Mm-hmm.
monogamous and fake that he is when you know that he's not, and if you don't
Mm-hmm.
know, then that's a problem as well because you should know because that's your job.
Exactly.
So if he's running around here and he's not monogamous, then the problem becomes and if you decide to be with him, like for instance, if I decide to be with a man and I know that he's not monogamous, then my next okay, now let's set the standards and the rules. These are the standards for what let's go over this. This is what we're looking for. If this is what you're gonna do, she has to meet these certain standards. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
and she, let's be clear, she's my sister, she's not a prostitute. So if that's something you're going to do, then absolutely, as business people, one of our main goals is to make sure that she is sufficient and stands. If we're including her sexuality, then by certain she deserves to be able to be self-sufficient, and so you automatically we're connected because it's like, well, she got to meet me first anyway, and if I like her, saying, but if I'm not into that, if you know what I'm saying, if she don't meet my standards, I mean, no, you need to step up what you talking about because this ain't making sense. I
Exactly.
don't see how this would benefit. This has to be of some benefit. she has to bring something to the table. There has to be a reason other than you like her ass or she's cute or you understand what I'm
Man,
saying.
Queen.
You understand what I mean? Like like man, she smells so good. Now fuck that. We could put some, anybody can smell good. Let's not do that. So
Right.
Yo, Queen.
yes.
No, you good, but be real though. If it was up to you, you know damn well if when it comes to the sexual aspect, you be like, all right, standard number one, I'm the queen bee up in here. And rule number one, and the rule is, all right, me and you gonna go to the bedroom. That bitch is gonna here, give her this dildo, and go and go
What?
go.
I never. I'm so listen. No, I don't. I have no insecurities in relationship to my
See, that's what I
sexuality.
was
I
gonna
know
say.
exactly who I am and what I can do.
There you go.
And hey, if you and listen, let me tell you something. I take the position with any man. If you find a sister that's better than me, I'm gonna help you get to her because I want you to be your
Mm,
best.
Mm.
So if she better than I am, and shit, let's like come on, like because you my brother before you anything. So my job is to make sure that you're your best. I might not be you know what I'm saying? That might be, or it may be us both. But my point becomes, I'm open. I don't really have this my dick, complex. I'm good. I like my pussy. I have a
Mm.
pussy here. It's this is I control
mhm,
this. My
mhm,
job is making sure that this is taken care of and does what it's supposed to do. I don't
Mm.
really try to control people's penises, but I find that if I do what I'm supposed to do, it does control penises rather well. You don't even have to worry about that kind of stuff. But another topic. You know, you
oh
just
yeah.
saying. I'm just saying. But yeah. So that becomes it. Like it's. I really don't have my. This is. If that's something he really wants. Now I'm not saying, baby, you somebody else. I'm not. That's. But if that's the man I decide to be with, then that would be my position in relationship with that. And he would
Mm.
have to be at a certain standard. You know what I'm saying? There have to be standards that are met. Like you got to really come up with the business plan on this shit
Yeah.
to break it down. Okay, so Lane, this is what I was, I need, the
You touched on
PowerPoint
a
on this
lot of
shit.
great points. You touched on a lot of great points too. And and you also made a lot of women break their necks with that comment on,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
because women, come on, sharing the man, sharing the even the thought, like damn that the thought, like you got nerve, but
And the thing about
anyway,
it is a woman would do that and she would still be fucking another man, but she would
Do
mm-hmm,
still
what?
take that she would still take the perspective of no, I'm not going to share you with anyone. But then, she would still do what she do with other men. So
exactly.
is it a question of greed and selfishness? And like the sister said, is it about a self understanding, a self esteem, and a self awareness, and
It's fear. It's
having
fear that if a
standards?
person knows who I am, they're not gonna love me anymore. That's what it is.
Mm,
It's fear. It's simply that I'm scared. I don't want to lose this person. So whatever makes them happy, I'll say it. And that's my point.
Mm-hmm,
When you take that off the floor, you allow people to be themselves. Why put anybody in a position where if I'm
mm-hmm,
only gonna love you if you do like this? Like no, that has not.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, you never get to the truth. People are never able to tell you the truth about anything. They're gonna sneak in there. If you every time somebody look at a girl, oh, yeah, I mean, then he gonna just sneak and do it. Like I mean, like that's just what happens. So you have to be able to allow people to be themselves in order to get to know who they are.
there you go.
So
exactly.
people are scared because we're in a judgmental world that doesn't allow people to. I mean, people have literally had to put on masks since they were children
Yeah.
because they were
Yeah.
told they weren't good enough.
Yeah.
You're not enough. Your
Mm-hmm,
hair is not enough. They were told that from childhood, and that's been beat
mm-hmm,
into them. And that's
mm-hmm.
why I said it's going to be way in the hole on this one. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not an easy task here.
She touched a great
That's why I
point.
take the position. I'm okay with not being in relationships because to me it's a lot. You have to really, really be ready. Like it ain't no
So
game.
so
You know what
so
I mean?
then is it that we have no point? we have no, we shouldn't have the audacity to try to be in a relationship because it sounds like black men and black women within themselves
That's
are
so
still
toxic.
broken.
Oh my gosh, we're so
You
messed
still
up.
need healing. So what are we doing trying to be in relationships when
Yep.
we can't even be with ourselves for five
Ourselves,
minutes?
yeah.
Yeah. What are you looking for
Mhm.
is the question. What are you truly looking
Mhm.
for
Hmm,
when you get with a person?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Cause
exactly.
and the question I would ask is, yeah, what does it mean to be yourself these days?
Mhm.
Mm.
You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? In
now
this
that's a deep
society,
question.
because everybody is trying to be like somebody
There
that
you
they're
go.
not.
It's
Hmm.
so
So what
funny.
is
I
it?
was outside today and I was just thinking, I was like, when being natural becomes the strange looking thing around, like nobody is natural, and you walking
Man.
around natural, you just like on some level. I can't say completely. You know, my sister might have her hair out. You know, but on some level, you just like you just see a bunch of
Hmm.
sick people walking around, like really hurt, really like out of shape, and just destitute and like not bright. I
Yep.
mean, just what the? I mean, I feel like I'm in zombie land. I'm serious. When I go out, I just am like, oh my gosh, where are the people?
Hmm.
Like, people, where are the people? I went down to Jacksonville, Savannah, and for the people, and I was so hurt. I was like, oh my god, my people. Like we in deep. If you find somebody, that's on that level, you know, hey, it's gonna take a lot of doing, but
Hmm.
it's worth pursuing because
Oh,
they're not the
that's the
examples.
romanticism again. You know, no two people are going to agree on everything. I think that, like you said, sister, like you said, we got to come to the table with our standards and our
Mhm.
intentions, with
Mhm.
our agreement with one another, and then we have to approach it from there. Because if we're sitting around, you know how people say, "I'm waiting for the right one." There's no such thing as that. That's you're gonna be alone
Right,
forever.
right,
You
right.
know, I think it's about putting your best foot forward and doing the best that we can in the situations that we are in when we can allow that to happen. Because as you know, because so many of us are sick, like she said, so many of us are zombies, like the sister said, and we don't have any brains when it comes to relationships. You know, it definitely goes in a detrimental direction.
And we don't have a community by even which to bounce it off of. Like, so you don't even
There
have
you
a
go.
sister to say, hey, you know what I'm saying? What you think about this sister? You know what I'm saying? It
Yep.
goes, it's just a one-on-one interaction, and that goes from that to sex to we're in a relationship.
Yep.
But there is
Yep.
nobody else around you that loves you to be able to say that motherfucker crazy, dude. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? There was nobody there. You
Mm-hmm.
because it was you and them relationships that we get into. You know what I mean? Like those, that it's just me, Bonnie and Clyde. It's just us. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't, and that's usually again, once again, insecurity. We're
Hmm.
scared if somebody else is in, then that becomes our adversary. But to me, like I said, I mean, I'm very confident in who I am. I think everybody should be. If you're conscious, that's what you should be. Like I'm okay if my brother, if you and my brother go together, I'm cool with that. That's good for me. If y'all work well, I have no issue with that. I don't feel slighted. You don't owe me anything. And if you come to table with that position, then you never really deal with this whole, oh my God, no, you're living a life. Life. You can do what you want. And I need to be more aware and pay attention to what I allow in my life if I don't like what's going on. But you are
Hmm.
doing you. And that's your right and your privilege, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have this, oh my God, you disrespected me. That's my man. I listen. I don't know what the universe got going on. I don't can't completely read the stars yet. So and I don't lightly. Sometimes you come into a person's just to jolt something for a few months. You know what I'm saying? Everything is not supposed to be this. We are here like it's sort of like combining different things. On a periodic chart, like we're different combinations. And they do different things, and we're experimenting. But we're in this, I
Absolutely.
gotta get with this one and be this, and it's like, like it's almost too stuffy. Like we don't have friends. Have friends.
Yeah.
We don't even do cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, that's my boo. as
Mm-hmm.
single people, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
My
we haven't.
question would be, my question would be, how can the average person have a relationship when we are socially engineered to be married to death? You know what I'm saying? Look at our culture. It's a death culture. We're married. It's matrimony with the death culture because everything we see from television to the way we deal with each other is involved with death. It's to
Oh, it
manifest
fits.
death because yeah, no fruit comes from it. Nothing of substance comes from it to where we can mutually benefit and grow. You know what I'm saying? Relationships is supposed to be a business, but this thing that we call love is a hustle. That's what it's
Hmm.
become. It's
Yep.
become a
It
hustle.
is. It's legalized prostitution. That's what it is. It's just legalized prostitution. You go out and work, you pay me, and I give you pussy when you want it. I mean, that's ultimately what it becomes. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Hmm.
really have much more substance than that.
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
not a good man. You know what I'm saying? Like, ah, and it doesn't. It's not because of something. It really is. It's a really bad thing. It's really, you know.
Yeah.
So,
How can you expect, here's my thing. If you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand the position we're in. You know what I'm saying? Especially now with all these, queen bees stepping out and becoming all this political social conscious we got going mainstream now. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know our position. So with that being said, why, even though we know so much about our predicament, can we not figure out and we not figure out and still make the complaint of where are the good men, where are the good women, that why can't we have good stable relationships, knowing that the culture that we indulge ourselves in, the action, or I should say the lifestyles we indulge ourselves in and call black culture, doesn't even promote healthy
Exactly.
family building, healthy
Yep.
families, period.
Hmm.
The sitcoms that we laugh and joke, the Tyler Perry
mm,
movies. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
The
The rap
what
music
up?
alone.
Sorry
Rap
for
hip.
coughing you all. I am drinking my apple cider vinegar. I just wanted you all to know that I have my apple
Okay.
cider vinegar right here. I
There
had
you go,
earlier.
Derrick Jones.
Yeah, I just was
Exactly.
just saying I got it. I want it. Anytime I get a cough, anytime I get anything, that's it.
So let
Oh
me ask y'all
yeah.
this:
Hmm.
is this thing called love? Is it an illusion? I want to know from a woman's perspective: is it an illusion? And also, I want to hear
Love
from
is
the
is
from the
love an
guys.
illusion?
Yeah, what is this thing
Absolutely
that?
not. Absolutely
Okay, what
not.
is it?
Love is helping each other grow. Helping each other to achieve whatever we're here to achieve. That's all it is. Like whatever you're here for, and
So
not
so
having any rules on it. Like whatever you're here for. I don't know specifically. I can't look at you and come into
mm,
your life and then and look into the future and predict what we're supposed to do. Like we're
mm.
not there yet. I can tell you right now where we are. But I can't tell you what that is supposed to be. So
So
that's
it's
never.
not about that feeling then. It's not about that
It's
that
not that
feeling.
feeling.
Okay.
It's not. It's not. And what you find is the interesting thing is, when they say whatever you resist will persist. Will persist. So if you resist something, it'll persist. Or if you give it energy, what I'm saying, it'll
Hmm.
manifest in your life. When you don't have that attachment of, oh, I'm gonna be with you forever, what you find is that what you're working on together makes it so that you're together forever. So it
Absolutely.
doesn't even. It's like we doing shit. Like it ain't really a choice here. You know what I'm saying? In the matter, it ain't. We're not together just because. Oh my God, I just like the way you. No, we actually are doing stuff. So it becomes a reason. It's not just and even in that reason, that becomes the fire. That becomes the reason why I'm in love with you is because look, man, we've been doing something for a long time. We look back and but not because I don't want you to talk to anybody else. Like
Right, right.
If you decide to do that, you soon find out. Yeah, I didn't really like talking to her. She was she was she wasn't real. She wasn't
Hey, you
very
ain't
bright.
lying because the last chick, I'm glad that we're not together. I'm really
Yeah.
happy. Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah. Would heard some
Yeah.
whining in the
Maybe
background.
deep down inside, I wanted to give her the D anyway.
Two. See, two. Remember what I said? Two. Men
Hmm.
do
You
it.
know.
Two feel good.
So yeah, you know. What do you brothers think? What do you think guys think about the concept, this word, even this idea of love?
Say that again.
I wanted to know what the guys'
Okay.
opinion was on what this thing called love is, because I agree with you, sister. But you know, so many people misconstrue this thing called love with how they feel. You know, and so my thing was, if love is a feeling, right? What does a person do when the feeling changes? Because no one feels the same all the time.
Mm.
You know.
Hmm. Well, if I may, I would say that first and foremost, for the record, we need a clear definition on what love is. Now, love, do I believe in love as from the perspective of how most people view it? No, such a thing doesn't exist. And that type of love, that is dealing with the Roman antics, the romanticism, the fantasy, the some say is the Euro standards of
Absolutely.
um of coupling, but um where I view love to me is non-attachment.
Mhm. Mhm.
Is be You know what I'm saying? Non-attachment, just letting something be, because think of what attachment is.
Mhm.
Attachment
Absolutely.
is attempting to grasp at something. When we was all children, what do we always try to do growing up? We always tried to grasp at things. We would go outside into nature,
Mhm.
into God's abode, the most high's abode, and grasp at everything. But what do we do in our curiosity when we grasp nature? We end up killing it
Hmm.
Mhm.
ultimately from our
That's
curiosity.
that's right. We're rough.
You
We're
know what I'm
too rough.
saying?
We're too rough with it.
Hmm.
We don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't know how to deal with it. Just let it and water it and let it be. You know what I mean? Just
Well,
give
there's
it.
a lack of respect. There's a
Mhm.
lack of respect. And that's where, and growing up and living generation after generation, intermingling with a recessive people, a curious people, very curious people
Mhm.
who are stepping into nature and attempt to interact with it in their curiosity, kill everything that they come in contact with.
Hmm.
And we've adopted that. Um, it's nothing wrong with being curious, but you have to know the rules of engagement. We
Well.
forgot the rules of engagement, especially when it comes to one another. We don't try to understand one another.
Mhm.
You see
Can
what I'm
I
saying? Go ahead, go ahead.
can I respond? I think that you're right. I say you're right on about the Europeans and us picking up that, but I want to take it from a scientific point of view with that versus
Uh-oh.
the them versus us thing, because the question becomes, what creates that? What creates that in Europeans and what creates that in us? And what creates that is insecurity. When we don't feel secure, we automatically want to grab onto something. And so when you look at Europeans from
Mm-hmm.
from a scientific standpoint of view, Europeans came from a climate where there was nothing to grab onto. So they are very insecure in themselves. So they automatically try to hoard everything because they're insecure. So it becomes
Mm-hmm.
mine, like a child, just like you said. And they're the
Mm-hmm.
biggest species on the planet. So that's what they automatically do. So and the same comes from us. What they did in doing that was they created a cycle. And I will even I don't even know if I want to know if say they began it, because I know we've been here much longer, so I can't really give them credit for something because they just got here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard for me to give them too much credit because they ain't been here long enough. You know,
Hmm.
so so I might have to go back to self on that. We might have to go a little further back. Um, but yeah, that becomes from this insecurity, and so you grab it because you don't feel secure. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel you're scared. You're scared to lose. You're scared to die. You're scared to
Absolutely.
and so you grab one. So that's why Europeans do it. Subsequently, it's not personal against black people. That's why it's to everybody because they just feel insecure. They don't know how to stop. You
Yep.
know, that is
Hmm.
the process that they've created from taking from people because now we feel insecure because we don't have families. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Fathers.
Hmm.
We don't have healthy mothers. And so we grow up feeling insecure, and so that's the cycle right there. And so male, actually, the what we're talking about right now is actually the catalyst for healing because at the moment that you start with your relationship, which is where your children come from, the moment that
Hmm.
you allow, so even the conversations of polygamy and polyandry are great because at least you're opening the thought process up to something other than this monogamous weird lie. You know what I'm saying? That
Hmm.
Christianity or you know what I'm saying that the religions have created. You know what I'm saying? Like you open it up, you open the mind up to there are possibilities. Like in other words, I get to determine. We can get together and decide what kind of relationship we're gonna have. It don't have a standard. Nobody else's standard. It's you know
Absolutely.
it's our
Yeah.
relationship. So
And you both of you guys hit it right on the head because when I look around, right, it seems like everyone is approaching this concept, the idea of love from the perspective of attachment, right?
uh-huh,
Like you said, it's a grasping, it's an attempt to make someone a part of oneself,
uh-huh.
right? And that's why it seems to be that when relationships end, we find that people feel incomplete or as if they have lost a part of themselves because they have put themselves into that trap through that romanticism, through trying to actualize or materialize the ideas that they have, which
But
are completely out of touch with reality.
is it romanticism or is it dopamine?
Oh, there you
Hmm.
go. There you
Hmm.
go. Because see, that's the point I was going to get to when I asked what is love.
So
Because
it's love.
if we look at dopamine,
Mm,
oxytocin, and serotonin, and the
mm,
roles that they play in a couple's relationship, we will find that they come into effect at specific points of the relationship. Dopamine and oxytocin are those feel good
mm,
neurochemicals, right?
mm,
It's what makes us want to attach to people. Like I was reading one study a few years back that talked about how oxytocin is released more in a woman when she's in a relationship with a man for the first 7 years in order to promote the survivability of a child. And then after 7 years, it begins to dissipate because the child has developed to the
mm,
point to where it can start taking some responsibility for its own survival. So I found that very
Hmm.
interesting, right? So is love just those chemical compounds,
mm,
dopamine,
mm.
oxytocin, and serotonin?
Hey, as when I'm
Hmm.
studying myself, I can say that, hormones are the equivalent of taking drugs. Like if studying like my
Yeah.
Of course.
cycle, like somebody can say calm down all you want to, but when my estrogen and my progesterone levels drop, Jack,
Hmm.
testosterone is a little higher, dude. Ain't nothing you could tell me that does this going, you know what I'm saying? Like, so hormones, I mean, sure, you can eat, more appropriately to balance them out, but they're real. I mean, they really, I mean, they can do a number on you and have you in some kind of, drug, you know,
Absolutely.
Oh,
you
exactly. Exactly. That's why
So
I
so then
love.
it's serious. Those things are serious.
Yeah.
so then a lot of times it may not even be that a person is in love. They
Mm-hmm.
may just have a certain amount of a specific hormone within their system, in their central nervous system, and that's what they're responding to.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, that's how it begins. That's how it begins. That's the sparks you talking about. And I like how Hero brought that up because you brought that Trinity. That's a Trinity you just touched on right there. You know what I'm saying? But I also like what the sister was bringing up about You know what I'm saying? The the European dynamic versus our dynamic, and who's to say who's the culprit. I like how you brought that up, because I was going to interject and say, well, we understand that everything psychological is biological.
Mm-hmm.
Everything psychological is biological, and everything biological is dictated by the cyclic revolutions and the cyclic progressions of evolution,
That's right.
over the progressions of time. So in this mode of reality we dealing with now, with how we're developed now, those hormones that we are subject to can also be likened, because if I understand correctly, we have seven glands
Mm-hmm.
that secrete those substances within our body, and it takes longer for them to dissipate. You can liken those to entities, if you would. I like how Phil Valentine, in one of his old lectures, touched on how, where our ancestors were concerned, they had a perfect balance between the empirical aspect of reality and the mythic, the spiritual dynamic. And what they would do, they would link it by um, labeling, by, well, first identifying the different aspects of reality from the elements, the gases, the liquids, the solids, everything that you can observe in nature, and assigning a name to it,
Right.
which would give it its own
Give it a
yeah,
uh-huh. It has
yeah,
a shape
exactly.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And it has a life of its own. You get to interact with it. And they would use that aspect to help convey that. That's what they did when they conveyed their myths. Their myths were like school lessons on biochemistry, a lesson of biochemistry with, a day in the life of our ancestors would be those great myths, sitting around a fire listening to the elder speak. You know what I'm saying? If you study religious scriptures, that's what they have. The different is, if you're initiated, you have to be knowledgeable of the different systems they utilize in their sciences to be able to break those scriptures down in such a way to where you can get the full meaning. You have four levels of interpretation. If you study, say, the Hebrew, which comes from, our ancestors' ancient roots, you have the basic interpretation, the subtle interpretation, all the way down to the hidden, the occult, the secret interpretation, which is something that is so sublime that you can only experience it. You could barely put it into words. You know what I'm saying? You could barely describe it. The best way you could describe it is to pretty much draw it, because you're conveying an experience. So the best way you could do that is through pictures, symbols,
Absolutely.
and those are messages which get passed on over time. That's why in the beginning, when Hero was talking about, these things being passed on, that's what the DNA is for. That's what the DNA is
Absolutely.
for, because our experiences is encoded.
And
Everything that we do.
I say that all the time, that the whole thing about ancestors is not so spooky as some people try to make it seem. Our DNA and genetics is our ancestors.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You
Pretty
know,
much. No,
so
it's like it's really tangible, right? Like we looking at it from,
exactly.
but it's a tangible thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So this is my question then, right? As far as this whole relationship thing, is it worth it then? If love is just these hormones, right? We get into these relationships based on these hormones or based on our own personal agendas, and then we are unable to come to the table as we spoke of earlier and come to some mutual beneficial agreement. What's the point?
Oh, we could do it. We could do it absolutely. Niggas need to stop worshiping those hormones.
Ah, there you go.
That's the fucking problem. We did everything is church with us. We even worship the hormones. That's why we go through the damn issues we deal with in relationships. We
Hmm,
worshiping these damn forces. Take me.
there you go.
Holy Ghost, the Holy Ghost. Take me. Just control me.
There you
We
go.
allow those forces to control us. We don't stop and think like, oh, okay, I'm feeling this way, but I understand that these are just secretions within my body.
Absolutely.
I don't have to let them dictate my behavior. I could utilize simple breathing techniques or
Yep.
utilize meditation or
Yep.
the sciences that will allow me to consciously control my destiny and to situate myself and to balance my energy, because I understand that as a total entity, a human being, we are composed of many forces. You see what I'm saying? The conscious for the forces that we are aware of, but the forces um, they run simultaneous, but they are automatic. They're autonomic,
Right. Right.
just like the organs in our body that run automatically without
Hmm.
our conscious awareness of,
So then that
which
brings me
are
back. That takes me back to Brother Derrick Jones's point. Then is it?
yeah.
It's about getting with someone that's so-called conscious, right? Or someone that's at your level. I'll put it that way. Because it sounds
Mhm.
like, okay, as those of us that are here on this panel right now, it seems that we have an awareness of ourselves. We have a certain standard and a certain level of self-respect. And so we are all in a place where we can be logical and realistic about our approach to relationships. But when we look out at most people, they are not doing that. So then is it about being equally yoked, if you feel me,
Mm-hmm.
rather than being unequally yoked? Like that's what I picked up the brother Derrick Jones was speaking about, that he doesn't want to continue, he doesn't want to be involved with women that are not at his level. He don't want to be unequally yoked because it becomes a problem, if you will, at some
You
point.
know what I do? My strategy is I go with the flow. I'm serious. Hey, I don't even.
Mhm.
I just. Hey, if somebody come into my life and we happen to stick, I'm just. I don't even. I don't be looking for nobody. You know. I don't, I don't be. I really don't. I don't be like. I just be like. You know what? Well, I'm here by myself right now. This is cool. I like this. This is straight. And then
That's real
somebody come
shit.
up. You know what I'm saying? Great. You know what I'm saying? But I don't be like. And I don't be like, no, I can't fuck with you because last time that motherfucker was fuck. I don't do that either. I'm just like, I'm like, whatever, dude. What's next? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's fun to me. I mean, even yeah, it's hard to come back. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to come back after somebody has hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Or you feel mistreated or misused and abused. If you allow it to be hard, but if you see it as not that person, you take it out of the personality and you realize that this is for your growth and development, then it no longer becomes this, oh my god, I don't want to do this again. It becomes like, okay, what's next? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you're able to enjoy people for who they are and situations for who they are, what it is, not just, I'm looking for this right here, because ultimately, that's no fun. It's no fun if you don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point, not to know, and the more you experience, the better you get. Okay, well, now I gotta add this to my list. I never knew that motherfuckers did shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
just, oh
Yep.
my god, they do this too. Shit,
Mhm.
I gotta get this shit together. What the hell?
Mhm.
Hey, brother David Jones, say something, brother.
I'm wiser.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. One thing I will say about love is I don't think that any of us really know the true meaning of love. And I say that because first and foremost, if in today's society, when it comes to relationships, I think 90% of the people in relationships are just wasting their fucking time,
Mhm.
and that's because everybody we're all surrounded by uh, sex and music, sex on television. Our minds are cluttered. You know what I'm saying? And then when
Mm-hmm.
it true love, you have to be able to love yourself first before you can love anybody.
Mhm.
So I'm saying that to say this, that if you truly love yourself, then you wouldn't put all type of toxins and chemicals and like cigarette smoking and drinking and going out and having unprotected sex knowing you can get HIV or AIDS or whatever. That's not loving your body. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's really impossible. And I mean this, it's really impossible to love somebody. You can look at somebody and lust all day. Oh, she got a big ass. Oh, he's sexy as hell. Oh, he woo. Oh, she this or that. But you would think you're falling in love with them. But if you don't love yourself, there's no way possible that you can love him or her.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's no way possible. And that's why it
Exactly.
goes back to that if I'm going to be in a relationship with somebody, we have to be compatible from a conscious standpoint. She have to love herself. I got to love myself. And we show this by not doing any harm to our bodies, first and
Yep.
foremost.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So everything else is bullshit. And
Mhm.
it's a waste of time. And today relationships they're not like 40 years ago when grandma and grandpa was with
Exactly.
whatever the case may be. Again,
Mm-hmm.
there's so much bullshit around us with television and music that no matter how close you feel like you're in a relationship with your companion, you always got bullshit lingering over your head. With television
Hmm.
and music, all type of other stuff.
Yep. Yep.
But again, it comes down to loving yourself first. You have to stop smoking the cigarettes. You have to stop eating the pork. You have to stop eating the beef and all the type of stuff that's doing damage to your body.
Hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
then you can learn to love somebody else. Then you can be in a relationship.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Those very things you're speaking of, as far as health wise, they do affect those very same hormones and chemicals we were talking about a little while ago.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're absolutely right. These things go hand in hand.
Yep.
You know.
Mhm.
So I agree with you, brother D. Me personally, I think just by listening to the conversation tonight, I think that it's about finding someone that's compatible with you. Like I say, at the mental, emotional, and if possible, spiritual level. And like the sister said, having a level of maturity and self-awareness and respect to be able to come to the table and come to a mutual agreement. Otherwise, I don't see how it's going to work. Because like you said, brother, relationships nowadays are nowhere near how they used to be back in the day. It seems like all
Too many
anybody
distractions.
wants is sex.
Yeah,
You
too
know,
many distractions. It's all on
sex
reality
and money,
television.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's
So
trying to
yeah,
emulate their relationship and their life off of reality TV.
yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
here's a thought that I would give the audience. Think about this. Think of this for a second. Everywhere you go, there you are.
Hmm,
Everywhere you go, whatever you're looking for, guarantee you're gonna find it.
hmm,
You see what I'm saying? And what are you truly looking for? That's what you gotta ask yourself. What are
hmm.
you truly looking for? Because how can you love the temple of a person next to you and you don't even give a damn about your own temple? You smoking the cigs, you over sexualizing yourself,
Yep.
you eating the wrong foods. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And people can debate all day about what they feel people need, the people, but you know what the hell you need at the end of the day. You know what
Hmm,
you need. You know what you shouldn't be doing, but
hmm.
you do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? And but you expect to get a different result. You can't get different results if you keep doing the same things over and
Cause
over
that's
again.
because there's no self control. See, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
like a
trying to
discipline.
avoid taking the conversation towards a spiritual conversation because we can start going in. I was trying to keep the subject around what we're talking about, but all of the points we were making goes all back to the spiritual development or the lack thereof that the people are displaying within themselves and towards one another. We have no awareness. We have no spiritual, no moral
No
development.
foundation.
Even to the degree that nowadays it is considered, right, that they've got the women calling men lame for being generous, being sensitive, concerned, you know.
Oh yeah, we suckers. We the
And yeah, you're a
suckers.
sucker now if you're doing that. If you open the door for the young lady, if you treat her with
Hmm.
respect, your guys
Hmm.
looking at you like you're strange. And then on the flip side, the guys are calling all of the women bitches and hoes, and telling them to drop it like it's hot for this money. And so you have from both sides, like the conversation began earlier, people behaving from a lower animal nature.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they
I know
definitely
that we
hit the
are
nail.
influenced by that, but I don't think that we have to be controlled by our lower animal nature. For example, like I said,
Hmm.
before I engaged in extra adult activities with the last young lady I was with, I had restrained myself for a very long time. Yeah, I wanted to, and I constantly have women trying to have sex with me, but I said no because I was able to resist that, and I think that that's missing. But again, I went through a lot of spiritual development, so it's going to be easier for me than it is for little Ron and Shaquaniqua down the street who's smoking on who's smoking on marijuana all day and popping ecstasy pills that's gonna make them feel this way,
Yeah,
and they
lack of
constantly,
guidance.
yes sir, yes sir,
Lack of
but
guidance.
again, I'm trying to avoid to take the conversation towards that spiritual direction.
Yeah,
you know
yeah. I was gonna say, I like the point that D was making. How my generation at least, especially the younger brothers and sisters coming up now, we are definitely not equipped or built the same way as our forerunners, our elders. Um, you know what I'm saying? We're just not built the same. We don't have the level of discipline, a level of fortitude and guidance to make proper decisions, to navigate within this confusion.
hmm
Um,
Yeah,
and
because they didn't pass them down. It just happened. There was somebody dropped some. The ball got dropped somewhere along the way. I mean
yeah,
that's the only like natural conclusion. Or maybe they didn't have what we thought they had. Maybe it just seemed like it was a
mm.
lot,
well, it
and we
strikes
were,
me.
ah
maybe it wasn't what we thought it was. Maybe that was the image that we had in our mind of
wow,
it because we were children,
yep.
and we didn't understand it how deep it was. You know what I mean? Like maybe it was always like that, but we just didn't see that. We
Yeah,
didn't know. Because it don't seem like they was all that. Like it seems like we. I don't know whether we coming up or going down. Shit. I seriously, because I
um,
don't know whether it seems like we coming developing, like coming out of slavery, but then there's this part that don't like look like we like it was a downward turn. This shit just kind of like start. It's like, oh my god, slip right back into that.
Yeah.
Shit.
mhm.
Well,
Well, it
we're still
strikes
walking around.
me. It
Go ahead,
strikes
brother.
me. It strikes me that anytime, you know what I'm saying, I could be in a store and the sister walks up to me, asks me, am I dating anybody? What's going on with me? What's up? And I let them know what's going on with me, and then shit, uh 5 minutes into the conversation, shit. 5 minutes into the conversation, she take me out back and you know what I'm saying, doing what it do. You know what I'm saying? But then in the midst of the conversation, expect me to commit to her. And
There
I
you
swear,
go.
this is within. I ain't known her for 30
why you
minutes.
why
I ain't
you
know
allow
Yep.
her to do that?
Because he's a man and he wants to feel good.
Yeah.
Why would you allow that? And no, no, really,
Yo,
and this goes back to having a wife. You see, because that's what the question a wife would ask. Now, where are your standards?
yeah.
Why would you allow somebody to touch your damn dick that is willing to, 30 minutes
Uh-oh.
after knowing you, like, come on,
Shots
that is
shots fired.
that goes back to what I was saying earlier, though. No, really, that's what it becomes because men have sex to feel good, and it becomes, it's like a prey thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I think it's natural. I don't think that it's anything but hormones. You know what I'm saying? I understand what it is. It's testosterone. It's definitely hormonal, but it's
Well,
this, and if it's not tamed, if it's not brought into some kind of, and usually that would be done with an example. Like you
mhm.
would have a father and a mother in a home, and you
Exactly.
would learn how to do that based on you would see how that, you know what I'm saying, to control yourself based on the way your
Mm-hmm.
father did, treat your mom, or if your mom had different men coming in, you understand what I'm saying, or you knew your father was cheating, then you're picking up all those ways to interact, or if there was no
Yep.
there at all,
Mhm.
Yep.
you have
Mhm.
no, so you're dealing with coming from a point of like nothing,
Yeah. Well, if I
to
may,
trying to,
Yeah,
if
brother. Why you do that, brother? Why you let that lady?
well, yeah.
well,
I
if
forgot I asked you that and shit. It's like all of this.
Yeah, you see, I brought it back up.
I
shit,
forgot that I asked.
shit. Nah, it's good. It's good. Well, if I may, it was a different time. It was a different time, but also I was going with the flow. You know what I'm saying?
You see what I'm saying? I always ask that.
I
Why
was,
would you say no? Why would you ever say no to head? I always ask men that.
yeah. I
Why
mean,
would
I
you
was
ever
going with the
say no?
flow. I mean,
I
that was a
feel
whole new experience for me. You know what I'm saying?
it.
I
You're like,
got,
sure.
hell, I got head before, but damn, like I never knew women was like that. You know,
Man, that's
but
crazy.
Oh
that's the
yeah.
conditioning though. I'm like,
Man, that's
damn, they out
crazy.
there like this now? Like
Hey man,
shit.
it's ridiculous, man.
Like
Predatory.
hold
They're
on,
predators.
vending machine. Let me stick. Don't even have to stick the quarter in. Just press the button.
Man.
Yeah, no,
Hey,
wow.
like I
It's
said
sad.
at the beginning, bro. Like last week, bro. Literally, I received about eight
Where all the
different
good
females
men at?
sending pictures. Yeah, there you go. They say where all the good men at. But then they act like well, I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the
We're not gonna
sisters because I love
generalize.
my sisters. Yeah, we're not gonna say that all
Yeah,
women.
they know, I mean, it's for the same reason though, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's a deficiency, like there's a deficiency in the community, like people are starving,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's not personal, you know what I'm saying? They're
Mm-hmm.
not trying to really deceive you. It's not they really are hungry,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and, they have, been malnutrition, and, that's why I said, if you change your perspective, like, you gave them something they never had before. So, you know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? That's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? That's great that you could serve.
Hmm.
To be of
Yeah.
service, to know that, you know what? Because I always feel like that. I feel like anybody comes in my life, trust me, it's something you're supposed to be doing and growing on. Because that's what I
Yep.
do. You know what I'm saying? I
Yep.
don't know what else to
Yeah.
do.
Hmm.
So if you here with me, we pushing for there's gonna be some mental stimuli and some spirit. We pushing
Absolutely.
on some shit. We going where we go. You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, it's always nice to know that I can say, oh, here, I gave that person this. They really need, because they'd never experienced that. I know brothers who had never had a damn massage. I thought it was the strangest shit I ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen? They never had a massage. I don't understand.
Right.
Like, what is that? And then you realize that the deficiencies are real. Like, it's not, people don't know about health. They don't know. They don't know anything. They don't know anything about anything.
Man,
Hmm.
Nothing. Nothing.
that's
I
true.
mean, they are completely ignorant.
And then
I
and
mean,
then they
basic
don't want to
things.
know.
And then, right, right. Well, I mean, once if the right person is telling them, like, if I'm telling them, they'll listen because it's nice. It's like, okay, well, somebody cares about me. It's nice to know people care about you. I guess it's just the approach. But again, that becomes the dilemma. Somebody has to take the initiative. And I guess it
Right.
wouldn't be necessarily a male or a female. It would be if you have that ability, if you have that consciousness, it becomes your responsibility not to let them give you head in the back of the shed. Or if they do, you need to pay them with some knowledge. You understand what
Well,
I'm saying?
I'm
You
glad.
need to
I'm
be
glad. Hold
you
on.
need to be certain that
This.
you know what I'm saying, that you
Well,
bless them as
Exchange
well.
brains.
I
I'm just
appreciate
saying.
you. I appreciate you handing me that oxygen mask.
My pleasure.
Exactly, because I'm glad you said that. For the record, to the audience
Mhm.
out there, I've never been
Mhm.
involved with any sister who I haven't at least attempted to drop a jewel
There you go.
Good.
and to educate them or to
Mhm.
impart what I know. You know,
Mhm.
you can ask my exes. You
Nice
know what I'm
save.
saying? You can ask
That's
my ex.
that's a good
You know,
save, brother.
shit. One of them will tell you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they didn't know shit
Mhm.
about. Yeah, they rocking the natural hair now. That's all I gotta say. Shit, they reading and
You
studying.
help
Yeah,
yeah. You
putting
gave
other
what you
people
right.
on.
Yeah, that's the job. You know,
Absolutely.
and if you
And to
Yep.
and
me, yeah, that was
say
an
that.
accomplishment to me. To
Mhm.
me, that regardless on whether or not the relationship or work, I get to go to sleep knowing that I helped change the world in a way by having somebody leave me not
Mhm.
feeling broke down and hurt,
Mhm.
not
Yep.
feeling,
Mhm.
not bringing
Mhm.
toxic energy to somebody else.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? They're giving life to somebody else because I took the
Mhm.
time to give them life. And
Mhm.
what is
Yep.
life? What is life? Life is intelligence, and intelligence is the
Mhm.
ability to communicate and process information. So that's what we do when we build. We share information. We share
Mhm.
Exactly.
information that is to
That's right.
uplift us and to encode,
Mhm.
to give us a chance to encode new experiences, to
Mhm.
encode better experiences, so we could carry those better, uplifting experiences into the next generation.
Mhm. Yep.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yep. It's true.
That was a good
Yeah.
save though,
And
brother.
we. Yeah. You welcome. You welcome. No, really. No, for real though. That's. I mean,
Yeah.
no. That's. I mean, I could say it from my perspective. I mean, I'm not always. I'm not, by any means, innocent of shit, So let's take that off the floor. I'll save you completely. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With our consciousness, there's all kind of things that happen that, you look back like, maybe that wasn't that conscious. You know what I'm
Right. Right.
saying? You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Well, I
saying?
mean,
Like,
that's a matter of perspective because this is a journey and we're
right.
learning.
Yep.
Well, it's
Yep.
you. I'm saying you look back at yourself and you look. I'm saying you say, okay, well, I don't think I want to do that anymore. It was an experience, but that's not really. I didn't really like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like the way that made me feel, or So, like you said, we're going with the flow. That's what it becomes. You're in a process of learning. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly.
that becomes, no, I don't really want to do that. To, you know what I'm saying? So.
So yes, being conscious, I'm observing. I wanna get under the hood and figure out, shit, what's going on with her? Like, what's she about? You know what I'm saying? Let me
Exactly.
pick your brain a little bit. You
Right.
know,
Yep.
unfortunately,
Mm-mm-mm.
women have become more masculine in their ways. Or
Oh man.
I won't even
Oh,
say that. I won't even say that
no, I
because
like that though. That's
they
good.
say
Yeah, because you
masculine.
hit it on the head.
You can say it.
Well, yeah, because masculine, but from the negative dynamic of
Mhm.
the masculine energy to where now they're hitting it and quitting it. Like I wanted to pick her
Exactly.
brain and figure out because I never met a woman like that.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
unfortunately, in her masculine and her toxic experimenting with masculine energy, she wasn't around long enough for me to even to pick a brand. She disappeared on them, on the brother.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
They hitting it and quitting it out there, huh?
exactly. And
That's
then
exactly what they're doing.
my homeboy, a month or two later came with a story to tell. Like, man, guess who I met at the mall? And then I said, "What's her name?" And then whoop whoop, and then he showing me pictures. I said, "Oh shit, yo, Night Rider over here."
She about to hit and quit everybody, huh? Hey,
Yo,
that's what they doing too, and they don't even
neighborhood
care,
watch,
man.
neighborhood watch.
I mean, well,
Yeah,
you see how
no,
they
it's it's
dress.
it's, it's dangerous. I mean, it's dangerous. I mean,
Hmm.
you just have to. You really just have to be very aware of yourself and your standards, and
Hmm.
that's you know what I mean. And like for instance, I always meet good men. I don't know. I have no problem. Like I can't. I really don't have any like things that. I mean, there are bad experiences. I won't even say they're bad experiences. I've had interesting experiences with them, and I've come to the realization that amount of time we were together was a perfect amount of time, and I'm glad that we're not there anymore, and I'm happy that they're, you know
Exactly.
what I'm saying, some person that I experienced, and I like them. They're cool. Like the reason why I liked them in the beginning was the same reason I liked them, when it was over. It wasn't like, you know, because the stuff that came out afterwards was new stuff. I don't, you got to dig down to get to know people. So you find that
Hmm.
toxic energy sometimes a little deeper. You have to
Hmm.
dig a little deeper to get to it. But, you can rest assured that any relationship that you get into, it's going to be there.
Hmm.
You're going to have toxic energy, and it's not going to be easy to deal with. Our toxic energy runs really deep. We
Hmm.
have been, neglected. I mean, simple as that, So,
Traumatized.
and what I was going to say on the masculine thing was, I realized in studying myself that for the first 15 days of the month, from the time of that my menstrual cycle hits to when I'm ovulating, I'm more feminine. I'm a lot more subservient. I'm a lot more docile. A lot more fun, chill. And then after ovulation, when it changes over, when the hormones switch up, um, that's what it's just like it's a progression. So it starts to slowly dip down, and it becomes more aggressive, more I don't want to hit his shit, you know what I'm saying. It's more like, like I'm not taking, you know what I'm saying. It's masculine. It's very intense. And I was thinking about it, and I said that's because in order to be a being who is able to serve masculine and feminine energy equally, giving birth, you have to have that duality in you. So it's not that the masculine energy,
Right.
energy is bad, or the feminine. You can have an imbalance of either one. There are females who
Yep.
who don't are not masculine enough.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? Just like
Mm-hmm.
there are females who are too masculine. And it's the same thing on the male thing, and it's just the imbalance of you know um of those energies. So, but that's what I notice about myself, that and it's almost divided equally, in my cycle. It's like half and half. Like one half I'm going up to a peak, and then the other half I'm going down. And when you look at the hormones, what happens at the end is that the testosterone is actually the highest hormone, because the progesterone and estrogen dip below it. And that's what you see when you look at the chart of, and it's like, damn, so has to be has
Everybody there? Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I'm
happened?
still on. I'm still on.
I think the sister on call may have dropped.
Hold on. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. No, she's still showing on here. I still see her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because she was making some great points. You know, she was making some really great points.
Yo, Queen, you
But
there? Hmm. We'll
but you
just
know what,
give her
brother?
some
I
time. Go
think we've
ahead.
been
Go
going
ahead.
for about 2 hours, right? We're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
have,
this is some heavy. Yeah, this is the biggest. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna be on to this shit.
yes, sir. We need to do a part two to this, man, when she can get some sisters that don't punk out because they left the sister alone. So of course we didn't go too hard on her because we didn't want her to be outnumbered.
Well, she's in good company. She's in good company. Like she say, she got the law of attraction on her side. She she
Exactly.
she find herself amongst good company. I think she has a great selection tonight.
Oh yes, sir. And she definitely has a good head on her shoulder. But I want her to have some help, right? So that we can get into so we can take the gloves off basically, and start getting into a lot of the nitty-gritty issues that black couples or black relationships face nowadays. Because the show tonight was really good. It was it was really nice. And we all on this panel know that when it comes to relationships, it is not so nice. And
Yeah,
I would
true
love to
that.
discuss some of those things. But I think that we did a great job tonight. And I
True
definitely
that.
think that we should do a part two to this, in the next couple of weeks or so.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
what's the sister's info so I could go ahead and connect with her again
You
and
know
see
what?
what's going on.
I'm gonna have to when we get off the air, I'm gonna connect the two of you guys because I definitely would love her to come back on a part two and do
Yeah,
that show with us as well. So I'm definitely gonna hook that up.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's good. It's good to have these types of discussions, especially where one we're being respectful. I know some people
Hmm.
believe that the gladiator um, model of consciousness is the way to go, but you know, I know speaking for myself, I'm off that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of
You
that
know,
shit. You know,
brother. Yeah, real talk. But brother, it's got to. I think it's a variety. It's different strokes for different folks. But I
yeah,
definitely
true.
agree with you. I definitely agree with you. We don't always have to be at each other's heads in order to get our
Yeah,
points across. And it is good to be able
right.
to have a diatribe whereby we can be respectful and at the same time communicate information, share information amongst one another that's going to help us edify ourselves and edify each other. So that's definitely a great thing.
Yeah, and you right, you know what I'm saying? Different stroke for different folks. So turn the channel, get your ratchet shit, get your world star shit. Turn the other channel, let's cool it down a little bit. Cause we could get
Hmm.
on that hype too, but I feel that we have enough intelligence to
Exactly.
keep it respectful. Cause we
Exactly.
all adults.
Oh, we definitely don't want no disrespect.
Exactly.
Not on our show. No
You
disrespect
you
on our
want you
show.
want the ratchet shit? Go to the Sinetta
Go to
channel.
Sarnetta. you know.
You
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
we better not say that name, brother. Niggas be crying around here.
Well,
So
yeah.
yeah.
See, and that's what I'm saying. If you want the celebrity death match, you know what I'm saying. Go. You know where to find it at. You know what I'm saying. You know where to find
Right,
it at.
right.
It's no personal shots. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Different strokes
Absolutely.
for different folks. Find what you're looking for. We live in a society where we have everything you need at your
Hmm.
fingertips.
Everything but peace. I mean, we
Ha.
like we've said before on past shows, we have all of this technology and all of this know-how, but yet everyone is suffering the simple things like you can't be alone with yourself for 20 minutes,
It's the
without
trade-off.
needing that cigarette. Yeah, but is it worth
Yeah.
it then? Is it worth it to have so much technology, but yet we can't find a common respect to not kill each other? To speaking about our communities specifically.
Man, I miss the days before Facebook, man.
Hmm.
I,
Oh
there was
yeah.
there was a time when I didn't have a
Oh yeah.
phone and I was
Yep.
chilling.
Yep.
Now
But you
it's
know
like
what?
now it's like, damn, I gotta check my page. Damn, I gotta. Oh
And man,
shit, I gotta.
if you just when you walking down the street, just look around and everybody's faces in their iPhone or their tablet. Like the sister said
Yeah,
earlier, it's like
drones.
there you go. It's like the sister said earlier, they're like zombies.
Oh yeah, The
Totally
Walking Dead.
oblivious to what's really going on because we're so zoned or droned out, if you will.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, we got to definitely do a part two to this show, man. And we're gonna have to get some more sisters to come on the show and give their opinions and make this thing happen because this was a very interesting topic. And I know that I actually have a list of questions that I wanted to get into, but by us not having all of the panel members that we were going to have on, I didn't want to, disseminate those questions to the sister by herself. So, maybe next time.
Indeed.
Indeed. I want to say thanks to the panel. Thanks to all the viewers out there, and definitely join us on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at United Conscious Movement. Join us on Facebook at United Conscious Movement. You can friend myself, Hero Jones, on Facebook, Hero GMR Jones, and the brother C. Allah can give out his information, and Derrick Jones as well.
Oh, always. You can find me on C-Lie. I am just too real. I should have wrote it down for people. But hell, you could just type in s.wallace48 at yahoo.com in the search, and my Facebook should pop up. Just type in that email and the page should pop up for you. But just in case, CEELAH, I am just too real. All one word. So C-Lot, I am just too real. And also you can also find me on my website, www.cosmocodex.com. I'll be dropping a video soon dealing with the numbers, numerology 101. Be on the lookout for that as well. And that's my build. Peace.
All right, you
Also,
can
I want
find
to
me
say,
on,
oh, there you go.
yeah, you can find me on Facebook. That's Derrick Jones, Derrick Jones.
Okay, and I wanted before we left, I wanted to say shout out to Team O.S.I.R.U.S. We got the debate, if you want to call it that, coming up with Ishmael Bay. Shout out to Ishmael Bay, and they're gonna get this work. That's
Oh
all I got to
yeah.
say.
Ding ding
But shout
ding.
out, yes sir. Shout out to it to Team O.S.I.R.U.S. Shout out to Team Aset. The sister Nefaka, she was going to come on the show tonight, but she had some other things she had to take care of. So next time, and peace to the family.
Yeah. Oh, I also forgot my YouTube, the official King Sadi at gmail.com. You could find my channel on there, King Saudi Saudi to check out some of the content on there as well. But that's it for me.
Absolutely. I think the sister is back on. Sister, we're about to close out. We really
Cool.
appreciate you for joining us tonight. We're
Hey,
going
if
to
you
have to
got
do a
something
part.
else to say, go ahead though.
Yeah, definitely. If you got something to say, go right ahead.
For sure. I don't even know everybody's names. I'm so like I
Okay.
like talking to y'all.
We didn't kick
I'm
you off.
Shalay.
It wasn't us.
No. My phone cut off.
Okay.
No, my phone cut off.
Well, I'm. They call me Hero. That's not my government name. I'm not going to give that out, but
Okay.
not at least not on
Mhm.
here. I'll tell you on Facebook. But I am Hero Jones.
Mhm.
And the brother can give his name.
Yeah, CLI. Some people call me CLI, whichever you prefer. Um, yeah, that's it. CLI Obey. CLI Obey.
Oh, sister, did you? What is your name, by the way, sister?
Shalay. My name is Shalay.
Okay.
Chalet.
And did
Mm.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
Shalay.
name.
It means challenge to mankind. Thank you. Yep.
No wonder you was
Yep.
giving us a little trouble tonight, huh?
Yeah. That's what I was born with.
Mhm.
That's my government name.
Okay.
So.
Beautiful name.
Mhm.
Did
Yep.
you have
Shalay.
did you have like some information, contact information you wanted to give out to the people? If you did?
No. If no, just I'm on Facebook. Shalay. It's under Shalay. SHALAY.
Okay.
Mhm.
Double. B as in boy. V as in Victor. EL. And you can friend me. Maybe I'll friend you if I look at your profile and you look like somebody I want
Maybe.
Well, well, that's a good thing because you and I are friends. So
I'm just
Yay.
saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, y'all get maybe I'll friend you. I can't guarantee it though, cause
I
it's a
know, right?
mystery. I don't know.
Chalet came to
They
slay.
suspect. It's suspect. I don't want that person anymore.
Yeah, I know,
Oh
right?
No, but I'm
yeah.
pretty open. You can always message me too. Just don't say nothing crazy.
Hmm.
You
Oh
know.
man. Oh yeah. We gonna say that for the next segment because I didn't think it was true, but apparently it is. I feel so bad for the sisters out there in the
Mm.
dreaded inbox in the social
Oh
stream,
man,
the dreaded inbox.
Man, I hear.
man,
That's
man.
interesting. That's very interesting. I find it. I just find the whole female um preying on men thing just really interesting in general. Like, hey, you know what? Actually, I wrote something about that. Y'all want to hear it? I'll close out with it. Y'all want to hear
Yeah.
it?
Go
Absolutely.
ahead.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Are y'all still there?
Yeah. We still here.
Okay, good, good. Because I just got one. All right. Yeah, I had my questions. I didn't understand. I do get it. I mean, from a scientific level, I understand why, the deficiencies. Um, but I guess my perspective on it, when it jolted me into, like, hey, this girl, um, this is it. It's called famished, like starving, famished.
Mm.
Mm.
I do not sit at the doors of my home begging men to come and visit with me. On the contrary, men ask for a moment of my time, my phone number, just the chance to converse or go to dinner. They long for the moment that I invite them into my home, my room, my bed, just as it should be. So it is concerning lovemaking. My lips are those doors that he will long to be invited into. I must know that he does not come to filthy up my home, bring in pests, rob my jewels, or steal my belongings before I allow him to enter. Until then, his only job is proving himself worthy. I have nothing to prove. I the hunted. He is ravenous and famished, and I don't wish to be eaten. No, in fact, I want to stay alive, and surely there are other great hunters who are just as famished as he. They're swift and patient, or go find slower prey to feast on, for I know how juicy and delicious my meat is, and I want to keep it that way. So my movements are liquid and limber on my limbs. You want me to leave my home to visit yours? How do I know that you will not keep me and hold me hostage or rape me and throw me away? How do I know that you have not poisoned my drink with love potion only to have your way with me and leave me longing for you in the end? Never will I be turned against my nature and find myself hunting you or anyone else. These are the tricks of men who want something for nothing. These rolling stones leave impregnated spirits in wombs full of life with no protector and no provider. These are the men who make pussycats feel as though they are male lions. And the reward for their weak shallowness are whores who turn male lions into pussycats. But he who is worthy knows my worth. The moment he forgets, oh yes, it is possible that he may see a mirage of greener grass on the other side, but in that very moment, he is no longer worthy. Yes, I know how sweet and delicious my meat is, and never will I be turned against my nature into a ravenous, famished beast. Little does he know that he never captured my heart completely, nor did he devour all my love. No, on the contrary, what filled his appetite was only the tiniest portions of my love in my heart. My reserves are still full because my nature is that of Mother Nature, enough for a whole planet of parasites to feed off of, and still beautiful enough to take your breath away every day in 1,000,001 different ways. Yes, that is my nature. He now finds himself worse off than if he had never eaten the flesh in the first place. Oh, how sad to have tasted the sweet flesh, to never find another flesh as sweet, and to never be able to taste the lost one again. So sad when he finds that another great hunter has found the jewels that he lost on his journey to the mirage of greener grass. Surely he has turned mad in his mind. Only the most blessed of men ever find their jewels again. Only the luckiest find a jewel of equal value, and oh, how few only find one of even half the value. He is sure to never lose the jewel again, for surely the madness is unbearable. For he knows what it is to be famished, then full, only to be famished again. Y'all there?
Mm.
So,
Oh,
pretty
we
deep.
here. We here. Definitely. That was powerful, and I appreciate you sharing that too.
Yeah, because that when you were talking about that, what we were talking about, the nature, what I'm saying, the predatory nature that women, and I guess, I don't know if it's something that hasn't always been. Maybe it was a lot more modest. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and maybe I think what has happened, I think, you know, it's it's almost guaranteed you ain't gonna get a good man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I mean it's like the odds are really stacked against him. So when you get
Mm-hmm.
to that point of desperation, then it just becomes, you know what, I'm just gonna get what I can get, cause I'm gonna make sure I hurt you before you hurt me, cause I already know what it's gonna be. And so it becomes that, it becomes, that this is what I can get from you, cause I know you ain't gonna want nothing else from me. You know what I'm saying? So it's that, feeling of not being worthy of it, because you just there's a deficiency there. And so, and that will be the same thing for men as well. That'll be the same reason, because you don't have worthy of it. You don't think you deserve it, so you say, okay, well, I'll just settle for some dick, because that's all he gonna give me anyway, because that's all they ever do. You know what I'm saying? And you just go for that. That becomes your thing. You know what? This is a little dopamine and run.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Now that's the wrong way. Now that's the wrong way to go with the flow.
Agreed. I agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree. You know.
There's go with the flow, but realize you have the power to change the current.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of us just giving up, especially the sisters, um, just giving up hope.
Mhm.
Period.
Yep.
I guess some of them are in a way lucky. You know what I'm saying? Those who feel like, oh, Jesus is my man. I'm just waiting on the Lord. They
Lucky
out the
them.
game. They out the game. They took themselves out the game a long time ago, so they ain't got no worries.
Hmm.
Supposedly. Ain't no telling what's going on behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus
You
is
know.
Jesus is a dildo.
Uh-oh.
They got a dildo and they got a window that motherfucker called Jesus. This is Jesus.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to get deep into it, I mean, that's what everybody that's what they all worship any damn way.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
You know,
Uh-oh.
That's what I'm
Uh-oh.
saying.
the
That's what I'm
phallus,
saying.
the
The
phallus,
obelisk,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
The Tekken.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. So
tech,
that's what it is. That's what they
Hmm.
do. That's what. I guess everybody wants to be penetrated. Shit.
exactly, exactly.
Maybe it has to do with that sacrificial idea, what I'm saying, of the Piscean age, that whole sacrificial concept,
Mm.
like that you have to suffer in order to, receive good stuff, what I'm saying, that you have to sacrifice yourself for the good of other people, that everybody isn't accountable for themselves, that one person is going to be accountable for everybody for us, he's going to take the fall, he's going to, and everybody don't have to carry their own stuff. Maybe it has to do with that idea of, the being, feeling like you just, I
hmm
Mm-hmm.
And it's good.
Yep.
You touched on a good point dealing with that Piscean age, dealing with that fish, dealing with the Jesus dynamic. A time of sacrifice, a time of undoing yourself. But hell, what they leave out is that was also the time of a lot of secrecy,
Yep,
a
exactly.
period of a lot of secrecy, a period of a
Exactly.
lot of that allowed for a lot of the institutions that will legalize mass torture
Hmm.
and
Mhm.
imprisonment and
Mhm.
enslavement.
Mhm. Where are you all located? What areas are y'all in?
Shot-town,
You in
Shot-town
Yeah,
in the
Chicago?
building,
we're all in Chicago.
Oh,
Shot Squad over here.
oh. I haven't been back home in like 7, 8 years.
Ah, I knew
Oh
you had
shit,
that
come back
Chicago
home
fire.
I
then.
gotta.
I
I'm
know,
back
right?
home then.
Oh Lord, y'all in Chicago. It's cold.
Hey, see,
Cold. Look at you. Y'all back cold there.
Celia getting something started. We are off air, right?
Hell no.
Oh, we still live?
You want to say
Yeah, I
something else?
mean, come on now, come on now. We
You don't
not
have to. I don't
posing
care.
as, we ain't holy men. You know what I'm saying?
No,
We
no, I was just
we
saying that.
we we no
I was just
different
saying
than
because I didn't see the
everybody
live
else.
logo. Yeah,
Oh
that's
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I don't
absolutely.
see
We're
the live
definitely
logo
just
either.
human.
you know,
Hmm.
keeping it
Well,
A1.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm a holy. No, I'm just.
Yeah, I'm a Creflo Dollar myself.
Oh Lord,
Minus the babies.
What areas? Where
you the
y'all
most
from? Where
unholy
y'all
then.
from in Chicago? Where'd y'all grow up in Chicago? What area?
I'm from the southeast side myself.
Where? Like what street?
Like you know what Commercial Avenue is?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm like near very near Commercial Avenue.
Okay, cool.
I also used to live on State Street.
I gotta come home. I miss Chicago. I ain't been there so long. Oh my god.
I'm sure Chicago misses you.
My mom is there. My sisters are there.
Mm, okay, okay.
My
What side of
brothers and
Chi-Town did you stay on?
I stayed. My grandmother was on 89th and Langley, right off Cottage Grove.
Oh, okay,
I went to High Park,
okay, okay.
75th and Phillips, 69th and King Drive.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, West Side. I done been all over Chicago. That's where I'm from.
yes,
That's
sir.
where my daughter's father is from. He's from Maywood,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, if you live in Chicago, you got to be all over Chicago. You can't
Yeah,
just be in one place.
but I've been in DC for like 15, this area for like 15, 16 years now.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm raising my daughters over here. So
How do you like it out there?
it's fine. I just like to go. I just want to move. Like I just gotta be like, at this time I was very stable for my children. So right now I'm just like I
Mm,
just want to travel and see some shit, and, do some shit.
yeah,
That's all. I just need a traveling buddy. That's it. Once a month. I just need to go. That's
I
it.
know, right?
And just get the hell up out of here and see something I ain't seen. I don't care. Something,
Hmm.
So that's where I'm at now. So it's cool, but I just been here. It's just
Okay, okay.
it's just what it is. It's the rut. It's the rut, and I don't really like the rut anymore. So.
Yeah. I'm thinking
Mhm.
about leaving Chicago myself, but I love my city.
Yeah, where you want to go? Where you thinking about going?
I don't know yet, and I think maybe that's why I haven't left yet because I haven't came up with where I want to go.
Maybe you gotta go visit some places.
Yeah, that's possibly so. That's possibly so. But I'm looking to get my business up and going, and so when I do move, it may be to a place that's conducive to helping my business grow. So
Mhm.
I'll see though.
Mhm.
Well, all right. We live. This is the United Conscious Movement. You feel me? We say the dating section for the app that Red Pill is working on and trying to get jump started. You feel me? But it's cool though. It's cool. This has been an amazing show, and this is
What's your
record. And
birthday? What's your signs? You mind telling me your sign?
I'm gonna
You know
say,
what? Matter of fact, when he closed out the show, we don't have to leave out of the back the hangout. We can still talk.
All right, good.
yeah, it's all good. Well, let me get this off then. And say thank you to the audience um for tuning in. This has been an amazing show. Um, you know, thank you to all the supporters. Thanks to the team, the members of the United Conscious Movement, Team O.S.I.R.U.S, and all the family out there, and all our inner family. You know what I'm saying, and just everybody who contribute. um, to this movement that we're doing. Greatly appreciated. 1,000 thank yous. Peace, love, and blessings to everybody. And we're gonna come even harder for the next segment. And this is just real talk. We people just like anybody else. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but we have a common goal in mind, and we want to see our people do better for themselves. Um, so hence the discussion. Everything starts with the thought, and then starts with the conversation. Um, Balance is key. Communication is key. Understanding the power you have, and understanding that you have the power to control and shape and form your destiny through your thoughts, your words, and your deeds, which is the true Trinity that you should incorporate, regardless on what religion or doctrine you follow. You have to follow. You have to live by law. You know what I'm saying? And the chief law is equality, balance, period. So when you have this in mind, it doesn't matter. You can tackle any obstacle. And the biggest obstacle that we have as a collective, um, Black men, Black women everywhere, is the dynamic of relationship, because a lot of us talk about achieving power, gaining power, but we lack the foundation, and we lack the discipline, and we lack the main ingredient to build any nation, and that is starting a family. And how do we start a family but to understand the dynamics of establishing a relationship? You know what I'm saying? To generate the wealth, the true wealth, because wealth isn't just the finances. Wealth is spiritual. Wealth is a state of mind. You see what I'm saying? Um, and that's peace. That's peace. Thank you. We out.
Peace.